All right, so thank you for joining us for this 15-minute franchisee interview. I'm interviewing my friend Adam today. Adam, how are you?
I'm good, Jen. How are you?
Very good. Thank you. Okay, so if you would please introduce yourself to our listeners.
Absolutely. My name is Adam Reeback. I live in Scottsdale, Arizona, and I recently became a right-at-home owner in January of this year in the North Scottsdale territory here in the greater metropolitan statistical area of Phoenix.
Okay, and so when you purchased your right at home business, was this a brand new territory or was this a resale opportunity?
It was a resale opportunity, but they had sort of struggled because of the pandemic. So it sort of felt like I was building from ground zero. They did have some
Okay.
things going on, but it was more like almost a new territory.
Okay, got it. I'm gonna ask more about that in just a moment here, but let's start with what you did before you became a right at home franchise owner.
Absolutely. So I was in telecom for 22 years, including about 18 of those years, where I was one of three owners in a wireless management company that
Okay.
basically did expense management, telecom expense management. We had about 100 employees, and it was great and it went really well, but it was a lot of stress and a lot of hours, and I was starting to get burned out.
Okay. All right. So then you decided I want to become a business owner. You've got lots of options when it comes to business ownership, starting on your own, whether, franchise, non-franchise, senior care, a pizza franchise. So why specifically senior care and why specifically right at home?
So I'm a big fan of building a sense of community and having connections in partially because I haven't had kids or gotten married or anything. My community are the people that I work with and the people that I live around. So like I volunteer for my HOA, and after I left my last company, I started volunteering and I went to a website that matches you to the specific volunteer opportunities, and the
Yep.
ones that it kept referring me to were hospice. So I ended up volunteering at a hospice company, and I still do. I'm still active there. And it was quite eye-opening. It felt good to, feel like I was helping people and that I was building a little bit of a sense of community.
Mm-hmm.
And if you combine that with the fact that I had a very good friend of mine who I've known since before college, who is a franchise owner for Right at Home in Los Angeles,
Uh-huh.
that was what steered me this direction, basically.
Okay, got it. So let's talk a little bit more about, and wait, by the way, I do want to call out to our listeners. Adam here is a great example of someone who didn't have any senior care, home care, health care experience before joining the Right at Home system. But one thing that's very clear with Adam is that you do have this passion for people and a sense of community, or the need to be really involved in your community. And that is a vital piece of being a right at home business owner, is that you have to be very involved with your community as the face of the business. That's something that you already had kind of in place. So it's a natural progression for you for that specific piece. So let's
Yep.
think back to when you first joined Right at Home. So you purchased a resale opportunity. You said it was
Mhm.
an existing location, but kind of struggled a little bit with the pandemic, so you took it over. So let's talk about when you first joined the Right at Home system. And
Mhm.
granted, it's been almost a year at this point, so still relatively new. But let's walk through some of the things that you went through when you first became a Right at Home business owner, and then fast forward to today and how things have changed, the lessons you learned, and things maybe you would do differently. Anything that you want to share with our listeners from when you first started to where you are now?
Yeah, I appreciate that. There was a lot of movement before I even officially took over in January, which was getting contracts written up, having lawyers review everything, doing some
Yeah.
of the pre-work, meeting a lot of the franchise folks. But if you want to, just for the heck of it, start in January and discount all that other stuff. January and February kind of did feel like drinking from a fire hose because we had so much little administrative T's to
Yeah.
cross and I's to dot
Mm-hmm.
that I had just laundry lists of little tasks, and I kept some of them in my phone and some of them were in Excel and in Outlook, and it was I counted at one point, I had 460 little items that I needed to take care of, but I just hammered away at them. I have the 3 Ds: you either delegate, do, or delete. And I made it through the list. The list is down to about 130 now. And part of that is because I do have a business partner named Jack. He is 25% owner of this franchise. He is a money guy and a finance guy. He's basically handles everything offline. He doesn't come into the office. He lives offsite, works offsite, and he's a big help. And that January, February feeling of being overwhelmed, thank God it did subside. And then I got to roll up the sleeves and dig into the meat of what I thought I would be doing, which is meeting seniors and helping them and matching them to caregivers and spending time inside people's homes or at a skilled nursing facility or an assisted living facility, just meeting them and talking to them and feeling like I was helping. And that makes it all worth it. Like that makes you feel like I'll do some administrative work behind the scenes and I'll plow through some lists.
Okay. So to summarize, when you first started, it's a lot of hard work.
It was.
And everything's new. This is new to you, and you've got the help and support from the franchisor.
For sure.
As you onboard into Right at Home, but make no mistake, this can be a very hard business, and it's a lot of hard work. But at the end of the day, very rewarding, especially once you get kind of into the swing of things and get more established. And as time goes on, it isn't as difficult, but there's definitely still challenging days and challenging moments in this business.
Yes.
Okay. So speaking of the franchisor and onboarding and training, when you first started or even present day, you could choose what piece of support that you receive from the franchisor, from Right at Home, do you find most valuable to you?
The number one to me would be the interconnectedness of the internal resources within corporate. There is no paywall. There's no wall of gatekeepers saying you can't talk to this person. Like everyone that I email at corporate gets back to me immediately. I'm very impressed with that. It feels like you are in an organization. It feels like you have them there if you want. They're also extremely kind and forgiving if you don't want to use certain resources. They don't guilt trip you or force you into anything, So I think, that's everything from the coaches to the trainers, to people like you who helped with the franchise transition. Everyone that I've interacted with wants to help. So that it is, and I'm not exaggerating. It's very refreshing and comforting to have that.
I love to hear that because I've heard terrible stories from other franchise partners where that's not the case. So definitely something to pay attention to if you're watching this right now. When you join the Right at Home system, you really do receive all of that help and support that we talk about during the franchise development, education, and approval process. So, all right, that's all I have for you, Adam. Thank you so much for taking the time to do this today. I know you're a busy guy. You're a busy Right at Home owner. So thank you so much for taking the time to do this. I appreciate you, and I know that our listeners do as well.
Thank you, Jen.
Okay, have a wonderful weekend.
You too. Bye-bye.
Okay, bye.